Hey everyone, Winslow here. Welcome to Prove Your Worth. Probably wondering where I'm standing. Let's do some catch-up. I found a really good Argentavis and bullied him into friendship. I wore down an Alpha Carno and then killed it with a primitive weapon. I got 8 levels from that. I then saw an easy pickings Megalodon and sent it straight to heaven. I had a surprisingly pleasant time fishing in the rain with a jerk. I'm really growing to like the Icky. I wore down another Alpha Carno and killed it with a slightly less primitive weapon. I got 3 levels for that one. I spent 3 solid days building a treehouse in the Redwoods, my new base. I fumbled with a light switch, upgrading to modern electricity. I sunk a fabricator in the wall. I started exploring science. I tamed and bred some megatheriums until I got pretty satisfied with the stats. There's no mutations. I also did the same for baryonyx. I went to the ocean to try to find a high-level Bassie so that I would have something to do the water caves with, and also just general sea exploration where I wouldn't have to worry about things like alphas, squids, or mosasaurs. That was until I found out that you could stun an alpha megalodon with the baryonyx, making my life here much easier. I cleared out many alpha megalodons and basilosaurus around Herbivore Island without really much trouble. While hunting, I saw a 125 squid off in the distance, so I spent a bit of time killing Euryptids on the sea floor to get black pearls. I thought, while I'm here, I might as well get myself a giant squid. I normally use a megalodon when trying to tame a squid, but I was pretty confident that the baryonyx would do just fine. It was then that I realized I wasn't wearing my flippers and I was just slow as shit. Though I ended up with a 187 squid, which is a pretty good find. And I returned from the ocean with enough oil to be a threat to the US economy. Now you're caught up. So now that we're caught up, I'm going to just take a little bit of time here to discuss what I'm doing for the remainder of the video and what's going to be coming in, I want to say, the next few weeks. So the island is, in my opinion, probably the longest adventure playthrough part of this whole series, except for maybe Genesis 1. And that's just because there's a lot of build up to boss kills and eventually to getting to the tech cave. I'm going to need to do a lot of breeding and get a lot of resources to do all of these boss kills. I need weapons, I need armor, I need tames. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be spending my time I want to find some high-level Rexes, if possible. I would accept some somewhat high-level Rexes if they ended up having good stats. I would also like to find a nice pair of Carnos and Allosaur. I've already got my Megatherium and Thylacleo for general cave stuff. I still need to get a Bassie for the water caves. And then I need to build a larger facility for breeding and tame management, because I can't really keep them all in the treehouse. The treehouse is very nice. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's compact, it's got all my crafting, it's got enough space for me to do what I need to do, but when it comes to the tames, it's pretty cramped. And I'm going to be trying to breed Rexes for bosses. I would also like to get some herbivores, probably Therizino or Stegos, for their damage absorption. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to handle that yet. But first and foremost is I'm going to need a place to put them all while they're breeding and while I'm managing their mutation and breeding lines. Now on the island, it's kind of really bad for your wild creature levels. Most of what you will see out and about is going to be below like level 60, which is not going to work when you're trying to build up for some boss farming and boss killing. Trying to get the higher levels, the 125 plus, to spawn requires either luck to get them to spawn naturally or a lot of clearing out of spawn points of various creatures, which is what I've already done in the Redwoods with Thylacoleo. And I ended up getting a pair, a 135 and a 140. I think it was 140. And bred them together, and then actually in the process of refining that line, this is one of the offspring with excellent stats. It has really, really good health, stamina, and damage. So I'm trying to get a pair from that so I can continue the line. I don't think I'm going to be mutating the Thylas because mutating some creatures is really obnoxious because of gestation rather than egg laying. And there's a lot more on-hand time needed rather than just setting everything to breed and coming back and collecting a bunch of eggs from a hatchery and checking to see if they've mutated. The other thing that I want to do is make and upgrade some gear. Now, I rely heavily on drops, and especially the cave drops for loot, but there is a lot of RNG associated with that I'm not particularly a fan of. Because of that, I am using Upgrade Station, and I will be upgrading and making blueprints for armor and weapons, etc. moving forward. Normally what I'll do is make like a journeyman or apprentice, whatever, armor, saddle, weapon, and use the armor patches from the upgrade station to fully upgrade that one specific item, and then I'll make it into a blueprint so that it still has some inherent value and it does have some farming requirement for costs, not quite to the point of with the way that you can fully upgrade to full ascendant and keep it primitive for repairs. I do want there to still be some item cost associated with the things that I'm making, because I'm planning on keeping them and taking them forward from map to map. Tames, maybe not necessarily. Saddles, maybe. But, you know, my weapons and armor, I definitely plan on taking with me. Because of everything that's going to be required for farming and everything, a lot of the future videos are going to be a bit condensed. I'm going to still go out and record what I can. But basically what's going to make it into the videos is going to be kind of the more important part of what I'm going for. Because there are times when you're playing that you're not going to get what you want. So you continue and you go out and you search and you farm and you hunt, and you still don't get what you want. And then I don't really want to, as a result, sift through several hours of footage to try to get something meaningful. Now, on some later maps that have a bit better progression, it's going to be probably different. I won't have to do nearly as much farming. I can kind of really just get into it. And then once I get to Fjordur, I think it's going to be just like a regular, what you would think of as an adventure series. Because Fjordur's a lot of fun. And I haven't done too much on it. So I'm not really spoiled on it, even though I know a lot about what you need to do. But we've got quite a bit still before we get to Fjordur. So I'm really jumping the gun on that one. My goal as far as progression through the island goes is that I hope to be ready for my first alpha boss fight, which will be Megapithecus, by the end of December. So this video is coming out on Wednesday the 14th. So I'm hoping within 2 weeks I've got my first alpha boss kill done, which again, Megapithecus is the easiest one. Then I'll work on Broodmother and then the dragon, which I'm dreading. But the dragon fight is always kind of a big pain in the ass. So we'll see. We'll get there. And with all of that said and done, and me grabbing this artifact, I would like to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. And we will catch up next time. Take care.